Hello, today's video is about the 5 reasons dating isn't fun for you. If you are single and dating, or maybe not dating for one of these reasons, and dating, the idea of it just gives you the ick, then this is the video for you. I want to go over 5 of the top reasons why dating is not fun. This is primarily for women, but men, feel free to stick around and watch. Hi, my name is Yonci. This is my channel, Chasing Yonci. You can find me on all the platforms at Chasing Yonci, but I am most active here on Instagram. My desire is to teach women everything that I have learned about men in the past 9 years from interviewing men directly and having my page, Yonster Nation, where men are able to share in private their true thoughts about love, sex, dating, and relationships. These are 5 reasons why dating isn't fun for you, which it should be fun. You should be having a time of your life, okay? The very first one, number 1, is that you are not clear on what you want. This is the first thing that I go over with the women who take my 8-week course. We break down your needs, your things that you absolutely need to have in a partner, your deal breakers, the things that if you find out about them, you absolutely cannot handle. And then you have your preferences, the things that would be nice to have, and then you have your boundaries. Your boundaries are the things that you're willing to do, but only at a certain point. So the first one, you're not clear on what you want and what you need. You're just happy to be dating. You're just happy to be out there and being picked, so to speak. But the problem is that you don't eliminate men who don't qualify because you're just attached. But you don't eliminate men who don't qualify. You get excited, and we all know with ladies, if we get intimate with a man, we get attached. That is a scientific fact. There are hormones and things that our body releases so that we can bond with our partner, just like we have hormones and things that make us bond with our new babies. And so maybe you're just, you're enjoying between the sheets and you are ignoring the things that you know are a red flag. I think I have yet to see a coaching client who didn't see the red flag. It wasn't something where she was just like, oh my God, I'm blindsided. It was something that she saw early on and just stuck around. All right. So number 1 reason, you're not clear on what you want and what you need in a partner. Second reason number 2, you're not the best version of yourself. Now, you guys who have been following me for a while know that you have to have on your BGPs when you hear my content, because I am not the type of person who is going to just placate you. I'm not going to pander to people in order to get my numbers up, okay? Many of my peers in the industry have tons and tons of followers, and a lot of times it's because they're just saying what tickles your ear, if we go biblical, okay? But your BGPs, your big girl panties, you gotta wear them because this stuff is tough to hear, but it will really make a difference, all right? When you are not the best version of yourself, the first thing is you're not as confident as you can be. You know how you feel when you get a fresh haircut, guys, or ladies, your makeup is done the way you like, or you have an outfit that you feel is banging, your confidence is just on 10, versus if your hair is just not cooperating, you hate your outfit, you feel like you're big, you're not going to be the same. Okay. Yes. She said BGPs are on. That's what I'm talking about. Comment BGP if you got your BGPs on. Okay. When you are the best version of yourself, and notice I said the best version of yourself, not the best person in the room. You put me in the room with supermodels, I'm not going to be 10. Okay. I am competing with Yonci. I am competing with myself. I know personally, I don't need someone else to tell me, or a website. I don't need anyone to tell me what weight looks the best on me, what personality is the best for me. I know what my best is, and I know when I am missing the mark, okay? So we're getting into number 2, the second reason you are not having fun while dating. You're not at your best. So the most obvious one is out of shape. Unfortunately, this is probably the number 1 thing that we as women struggle with, is getting our bodies in a place where we are confident with ourselves. And what's so interesting is I see a lot of times people getting upset with men for wanting a woman who's in shape. But the reality is that if we had the choice between snapping our fingers and being fit versus staying how we are currently, most everyone would choose being in shape, right? I don't know anyone who would, if they're being honest, not choose to be in shape. So the guys are not bad guys for expressing this is what they want. And I will say this, as having been in a position where I needed Spanx and needed to hide things and wear oversized stuff, and being in a place where I didn't need that stuff and I was super in shape and I was comfortable wearing bare midriffs, it's night and day. There's no comparison. You just feel amazing. So if this is something that resonates with you and you say, I know I'm not where I need to be, figure out how to get started and just buckle down and do it, right? The number one thing people say is bodies are made in the kitchen. So even if you don't take up some Olympic training routine, just changing what goes in your mouth will make all the difference in the world, okay? But that's the outside, right? The outside version of yourself. You're not the best version of yourself outside. The other thing could be the inner part of you. You might be drop dead gorgeous and your body is banging, but your attitude is funky. Maybe you are very entitled. You have an entitlement syndrome. You got a princess syndrome and you are just not a joy to be around. You're the type of woman that the guy says, shh, just don't talk. Just be pretty, or what my buddy SD calls mattress food. Nobody wants to be mattress food, right? You have nothing going on here. You're just appealing to the eye, okay? Or to his what. Or the other thing would be that you don't carry yourself in a way that screams wifey vibes. This is a real thing. We see men who are not moving in a way that shows leadership. Thank you, Candace, for the badge. We see men who are not moving in a way that we find attractive. We're like, ooh, I could never submit to a man like that, or that's not a leader, or what a wuss, or whatever, right? We judge a man's behavior and go, could I envision him as my man? We look at his page, his Instagram page, and be like, ooh, I wouldn't want my man to post that. I wouldn't want my man to be on that live stream talking about that. Okay, somebody asked what a BGP is. Big girl panties. And men do the same thing. I created an entire an entire class talking about what men look for, how they judge your Instagram profile specifically, okay? And I also teach how, to make your dating app profile on point. Little detour here. But for a while there, I opened it up and I started allowing men to review profiles. It's open right now. I had a couple people sign back up, but I haven't been advertising it. But if you guys want your profile reviewed, just DM me and I'll tell you how to do it. But the guys were consistent with what they have been saying for the past 9 years. And they gave feedback anonymously, and it's specific things that they look for to see if it's there positively or not there negatively, or if it's a negative thing that's present, that they're going to go next, no matter how pretty she is. And please understand that depending on the character of the man, there are some men who will see, oh, she's not wifey material, but find you sexually attractive, and they will still try to pursue you, okay? That's another conversation for another day. You have to be able to discern why that man is in your sphere. But if you want more men around barking up your tree that are there because they see a potential for a relationship, they see someone that they could potentially take home to mom versus just someone they potentially can see taking home to bed, then you want to be doing those things. And if you're not doing those things, you're getting passed over by the guys who are intentional. And yes, they do exist. There are still men out there who desire marriage, but the guys say to me, Yonci, where are the good girls? Where are the traditional women? Okay, so they are out there. They are looking, but you have to present yourself in a way that makes them want to approach you. Okay. What else? I got my notes over here. Presenting yourself in a way that men universally desire, carrying yourself in a way that says, I am a lady. I have, wifey energy. You don't become a wife when a man picks you. You are already in that mode and he picks you. And you need to work on your internal flaws. Okay. For example, are you a very selfish and self-centered person? Is it all about you? You might be from the tribe, happy wife, happy life. Maybe for his birthday or Father's Day, he's just getting socks and a tie, but you expect him to know your favorite dinner, your favorite playlist, where you would like to be romanced, wined and dined. You're expecting massages and being sent to the nail salon, but yet you couldn't think of 3 things that would really make his emotional toes curl. Are you a self-centered person? Do you struggle with controlling your emotions? Are you an overgrown child? Are you basically a 2-year-old inside when it comes to relationships, and men have to just walk on eggshells around you because you could just be set off at any moment? Okay, there are a lot of things that men will see and say, I'm good. Thanks, but no thanks. All right, we are dealing with going over 5 reasons dating isn't fun for you. So some of these things might resonate with you. Hopefully you find value in this. Number 3, you don't love and respect yourself enough. This one is very near and dear to my heart. I can very much relate to this. For those of you who don't know, I got married as an embryo. I did 12 years, hard time, and I had to walk away for my sanity and physical well-being. And so I found myself in the dating streets in my 30s. I think I was like 35. And it was very apparent looking back that I did not have the proper amount of self-love and self-respect. Self-love and self-respect makes you want more for yourself. And I'm not talking unrealistic. I'm not settling for less than $600,000. I'm not settling for less than 6'6". Like, I'm not talking about those kind of expectations. I'm talking about, do you wait for a man who loves and cherishes you? At the end of the day, a woman ticks based off of how she is treated. Her brain on autopilot scans and says, am I feeling loved? Am I feeling loved? Am I feeling loved? Am I feeling loved? And if the answer is no, 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 she will become distressed. She will become anxious. She will become very, very outside of who she typically is. We are so emotional as, the creatures that God created us to be, and it's a great thing. And we need to be loved, cherished, and adored. And if we don't feel like we're loved, cherished, and adored, we are not going to be happy. It doesn't matter how much he takes care of the bills. It doesn't matter how faithful he is. If we don't feel cherished, like he would be devastated if we weren't in his life. If we don't feel cherished, we are not okay. Okay? I cannot emphasize that enough. So if you are dating a man, which the beginning stages of dating, both parties are on their best behavior. Just like when you interview and the first 6 weeks of work, you're on your best behavior. You're ironing your clothes. You're getting there early. You're packing your little lunch. Everyone's on their best behavior at the beginning. If at that point you don't feel loved and cared for, and I'm not saying the man is going to be in love with you in the first stages, but there is a way that a person can show you that they don't care at all. Okay? And if you are the type of person who sticks around because, well, he's cute. Oh, he's tall. He makes good money. He takes me on great dates. That's on you, boo. And dating is not going to be fun. Dating is going to be more stressful than it is enjoyable. You're going to be the girl who is wondering why he hasn't texted you. You are going to be the girl who is stressed out that he hasn't asked you out. Hey, Willie. You are going to be stressed out because he is not doing the things that you thought he would do come holidays, come your birthday, come, Valentine's Day. You are the one who is stressed out because you shared something you're going through and he's not really showing you a lot of empathy or concern. Can't get a hold of him. He's inconsistent. But that's on you because you're sticking around. And let me explain this to you. As women, I'm not going to say that we're the prize because that's way too polarizing, okay? Everyone has their value in different ways. But men pursue women. Men want the best woman they can get, and they know that if they work really hard and become the best version of themselves, they can obtain a better woman. Men absolutely value a woman when they see certain things in her, and they're going to cherish her and they are going to adore her. But it is your job to wait until you encounter that man. This is why nobody has sympathy for women who complain about the men they are in relationships with, because the next question is going to be, why did you accept? Why did you accept? If someone makes me an offer for a partnership or a sponsorship and that offer is disrespectful, that offer is like, Yonci, I want you to film for 8 hours and I'm going to pay you $30. and I accept, and then I come on here and I'm like, I can't believe this deal. I have to work for 8 hours and I'm only getting $30. That's not even a dollar. How's that going to look? No one's going to be mad at the person making the offer. They're going to look at me like boo the fool for accepting. This is where you have to have self-love, and you have to have self-respect. And this is where you have to have patience. A girlfriend of mine texted me this morning and she's like, oh my God, I'm not going to meet my person until 90. And I get it. I had those same feelings. But you have to press on. You have to move forward. And we're going to get a little bit into that with number 5. But you have to respect yourself to not take anything that comes your way. And you should not have open arms when someone shows you interest. You should not immediately freak out, start to imagine your life together, say your name with his last name. You should not be doing that. You should be vetting at the very beginning. Goes back to the first thing that I mentioned. You're not clear on what you want or need. Is he fitting this criteria? I haven't decided if I'm going to record it. I might do it again at some point, or I might put it on YouTube, but I haven't decided at this moment. But you can't just accept everything that comes your way. You cannot be so excited to be with a man that you are willing to compromise on your needs and your wants. And the reason why a lot of women do this is because their personal sense of value is tied to being picked. If I'm not getting picked, I don't feel valuable. If I am getting picked, I do feel valuable. So if you go on a date and you feel like, oh, it was great, everything went smoothly, and he doesn't call you back, instead of going, oh, I guess I just didn't do it for him, you go, what's wrong with me? Why didn't he pick me? What is it that and sometimes, a lot of times, it has nothing to do with you. If, number 2, you have become the best version of yourself, right? You've done the best, you're presenting yourself in the best way, you're interacting with men the best way you can. Sometimes he met somebody else who's a better fit. Maybe he has more in common with the girl that he just met last week. But he had already scheduled the date with you, so he wanted to see it through. He might be in a really stressful place at work. You know, his boss might have said something that made him shake in his boots and wonder if he's going to have a job next week. And so he's just completely focusing on getting his presentation. There are a million reasons why men don't call women back. And it's not always because they just suck at life. So you cannot tie your value to being picked. This will make it impossible for you to move in a way that is healthy in the relationship space. What are we on? Number 3. Number 4, you don't understand what men want. Okay. Thank you. Okay. It's resonating. Good. You don't understand what men want. You might be like a lot of women who grew up knowing what you want. You had a daddy in your life maybe who's like, you're my princess, and this man, I better do this, and this, and there is nothing wrong with that, okay? However, he did you a disservice if he didn't also say, and this is how you become a dream woman. This is how you give off wifey vibes. This is what men want, so make sure you have this together. You got to have both sides. You have to have your standards and know what you won't deal with, okay? And what you won't do without. But you also need to understand what is a man's kryptonite. What makes him say, I ain't talking to nobody else. I hit the jackpot. This girl is too good to be true. Like, what is wrong with her? Because she is everything, okay? If you don't understand what men want, dating is not going to be fun for you. I went on a date one time and I remember it was so funny because I was doing what I thought was just basic, standard, like you're just a good human being. And the guy was blown away. He said, oh my God, this date was amazing. You just, wow. And I asked him, what is it that I did? And it was just, to me, it was the most basic stuff. Basic things that every woman should do and super easy. And he was blown away by the bare minimum. I'm thinking, my God, you should see what happens if I actually like you. You know, so if you understand the basics, the universal needs of men, you will at least be above the average women. I'm telling you, the bar is low. As some people say, it's in a very hot place. The bar is so low. So if you do just the basics that I will teach you, the universal stuff, you'll be leaps and bounds ahead of the rest of the women. And you might be asking, if you're new here, what the heck do you know about men? You're a chick. I mean, are you just basing this on the men that you've dated in your life? Absolutely not. I had no aspirations of being a dating coach. I didn't even know there was such a thing as coaching, let alone dating coaching. I was a woman who found herself single, like I said, at 35, after being married for 12 years, and I was clueless. I thought it was, I find you attractive, you find me attractive, I like being around you, you like being around me, we go together and get married, because that's what happened before. And so I was so confused. So I went out, sought out answers to questions that I had. Why do you ghost? Why do you stick it around in a woman's life if you don't want to be with her? I asked all of the questions, and I've been doing that for nearly a decade. It's been 9 years, okay? And so, wow, we're almost to the end of the year, so we're about to be at 10 years. I have seen there are certain things that are universal truths for men, and I share them with women. Now, let me give you some examples in reverse, ladies. So you know what I'm talking about. Because you might say, well, all guys are different. How are these things going to be helpful to me specifically with this guy? Let me give you what's a universal truth with women. We like muscular, okay? We like a guy who's strong. I should put it that way. We like a guy who has strength. We like a guy with strength. We like a guy who is protective. We like a man who makes us feel adored. We like a man who is clear with his intentions. We like a man who is consistent. We like a man who is macho, and we tend to gear towards more of the stoic man, right? I don't quite know exactly what he's all about, and it takes a little while for those layers to unfold. All right. We like a man who has boundaries, who doesn't let us walk all over him, right? I could go on and on and on. All the ladies are going to agree universally, we like that stuff. Okay. So there are things with men that they universally like with women. And then of course, as you get to know your particular guy, you learn him more specifically. Hey, do you prefer this or do you prefer that? How much of this, how much of that? But like I said, you want to get in the door and you want to be above the average people that, you know, the regular people that he's dating. You want him to be like, wow, that hasn't happened before, right? So these universal things, that's what I teach in my content, in my classes, and I go into great detail in my 8-week course. The thing is that if you don't understand about men, so we're on number 4, 5 reasons why dating is not fun for you. You don't understand men. The other thing is you're making decisions that you don't understand the consequences of. We live in a culture right now that's like, do you, boo, don't judge me, YOLO, you know, all this stuff. But there is such a thing as consequences. And as much as, yes, you are free to make the choices you want to make. Ain't nobody going to check me, boo. Well, there might not be checking you because you're an adult. You can do whatever you want, but they might not be checking for you. Now, don't kill the messenger. There are consequences that you have to deal with. Let me give you an example in the reverse. If a man wants to go out and be in his you know what phase, and he wants to sleep around unprotected, and now he's knocked up 5 different women, and he got all these babies, and now he's paying like 90% of his check is going to child support, and he's got to go all over town to see his kids. Guess what? There are consequences for that, right? There are consequences for being with a man like that. The same way there are consequences for your behavior. If there are certain choices that you have made in your past, it might not be fair, as women like to use that term, but there are consequences. And there are men who will absolutely walk away from a woman if she has some of these things in her past. If he asks around his group of friends and there's the energy when her name is said, he's going to move along. So especially for my younger girls who are in the decision-making phase, especially in the era of reality shows and people filming themselves, and the internet's forever, okay? There are consequences for what I'll call city girl behavior or lifestyles. So you might think you're young and cute and whatever. Men care, men pay attention, and no matter what they say, most men are very traditional at heart when it comes to the person on their arm representing them as an extension of them, carrying their last name and bearing their children, okay? Number 5, the last one. Anybody here heard all 4? If you heard all 4 so far, comment 4 if you have been here from the beginning. Okay, the numbers kind of stay the same, but it could be different people coming in and out. I'm curious to see if anybody has been around for all 4. Kudos to you if you have. But number 5, the 5th reason why you are not enjoying dating is because you are operating from a place of fear. You are not giving all that you could be giving. And I'm not saying you need to do everything the second you meet somebody, but what I'm saying is from an energy perspective, oh, nice, she's been here from the beginning. But you should be able to give yourself unbridled from an energy standpoint when you're getting to know somebody. You should not have the mentality of, oh my God, I can't be vulnerable because I don't want to get hurt, which is different from saying there are certain things that there are levels to it. Like, okay, you have to earn that, or, I'm not to the point where I feel this person deserves to know this. That is different. That is using wisdom. That is, making sure that you read the room. What I'm talking about is, I don't want to show him I like him. I don't want to give him some energy. I want to play hard to get. I want to be cryptic. All that stuff that's coming from a place of fear. The irony is that energy will actually turn a man away, so that when he does leave, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're like, see, I knew men are, what, because he left. Well, he probably left because you're dry, sis. He left because he felt like he was giving more than you were giving back to him. So it's absolutely imperative that you go into the dating world with a place of hope, with a place of, this could happen. I tell my girls in my class, my course, to look at it like the lottery. You play the lottery, not really expecting to win, right? But it's not like a delusional, no, I know I'm not winning. There's still like a little bit of hope. Like, hey, it would be dope if I won the lottery. But you don't go in there like, I bought my ticket, therefore I am going to cuss out my boss, quit my job, and buy stake in this company. No, you go in there like, it'll be nice if it works, right? And you're not depressed, you're not angry, you're not moping around because last week you paid your $1 for your ticket and it didn't cash, get hit big. You're like, well, didn't make it. That was fun. Let's try the next time. Okay. So you have to come in with that energy when it comes to dating as well. So I'm going to end this with this. If you would like to attend a workshop, I'm putting a workshop together, which I have not done in a very long time because I have been just doing my, my 8-week coaching program for the past year. I'm going to be putting together a live workshop. And what this is you attend the beginning portion, which has the little slides. It's kind of like a presentation, teach you, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end, I open it up for Q&A so you can ask me questions directly. Okay, so maybe you don't want to do one-on-one coaching, but you want to be able to get access to me directly in real time. And so this is an opportunity to do that. If you have ever taken one of my classes, comment class. I would like to see if any other students are in here. So I am putting together a workshop. I haven't decided on the date. I recently did a poll between, do you prefer Monday night class or a Saturday morning class? And I got to go back and check the stats to see what the final verdict was. But I haven't put the date together yet, but it's going to be in October, and it will either be a Saturday morning or a Monday night. Oh yes, Lynn, one of my favorite students. Good to see you, girly. And so I'm going to be putting a workshop together, and it is going to be a super duper crash course. So if you've been in my 8-week program, you've gotten the accelerated version of this, but we're going to at least scratch the surface of quite a few things. And my goal is for people to leave that class feeling very inspired, having a lot more questions, a lot of arsenal under their belt to be able to, date with confidence. If it was at night, it would be at 7:30 Central, which would be 8:30 Eastern time, and that would be 5:30 Pacific time. And if you're not in the US, you're gonna have to Google, but 7:30 Central, okay, if it ends up being a Monday night. So what you can do to enroll is to go to my story. As soon as I log off, you're gonna be able to access my story, and you're gonna take the quiz. There is a quiz where you can see your emotional intelligence when it comes to dating. And then everyone who enrolls, and by taking that quiz, you will be enrolled for a chance to win a free seat. So one person is going to be chosen out of those names that are input in there to be able to attend this workshop for free. Everyone else, you'll just have to sign up. Okay. But head to my story and you can get more information there. If you miss, if you miss the live version, I do record my workshops and those are available, but you still have to reserve your seat ahead of time with everyone else. And then you go on a list. And then once it is recorded, then I will send you the link to the replay that next day. Okay? Take the quiz so you can be entered into the drawing and also get more information on the workshop coming up. I'll see you guys in a bit.